Hey, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Tony Talks. I'm your host, Tony Rodriguez. Today, I have the distinct pleasure of bringing someone on to Tony Talks. Tony Talks is a show where I have conversations with inspirational leaders, influencers, change makers, people that aren't just doing well in life, but that are doing good in the world. And the next person that I have is really world-renowned international speaker, best-selling author, psychologist. He's a Tony Robbins partner for the last 25 or 30 plus years. He's also a trainer and all-around badass. My good friend, Joseph McClendon, is here to drop some knowledge and to help us kind of expand our mind. You know him, you love him. Let's bring him on camera. Hey, Joseph, how's it going?
Tony, how you doing, man?
Good to see you. Always good to see you, my friend. And
you as well.
Always laughing and smiling.
Well, that's what gets us by, my friend. That's what gets us further faster.
That's it. It's the only way to go. You know, I say it all the time. I'd rather laugh with the sinners and cry with the saints. It drives my mom nuts, but that's okay.
Love it.
So again, bringing you on here today, I asked that everybody post their questions. Again, remember that this is not just a conversation with Joseph and myself. It is interactive. We are seeing your comments. So ask any questions that you'd like to hear from Joseph. We certainly have an outline of things we'd like to cover, but ask your questions. We'll try to answer every single one of them. Anything that we don't get to during this hour or hour and 15 minutes or however long we wind up going, we will answer afterwards. See, I'm already setting Joseph up. And the one thing that I would ask, just share this with your friends, because you already know what Joseph's about. You know what this show's about. So share with your friends, share now, tag your family members, tag your friends, and share to other pages that you have, because you know that you know the value that's going to come from here. And without further ado, let me just give the mic to the man, the myth, the legend, Mr. Awesome Sauce himself, Joseph McClendon.
With a setup like that, I guess I'm going to have to deliver. So thank you, Tony, and hello, everybody. And thanks for taking this time, like you had something else to do, to spend the time with us. And Tony, thank you for what you're doing, because you're doing the one thing that I keep suggesting to people over and over again. Take this time that we have right now and make it count right now, because here's the way I look at it. By the way, I look at this time that we have right now as a once in a lifetime opportunity to get your life together, even more than you probably already are. Because if you're on this call right now, you're probably within the community of people who is into personal development and self-improvement, but it's been stepped up because you no longer have the excuse of, I don't have time. It's now you got time to do this. So I'm going to drop some truth bombs, if you will. And as Tony said, please, if you have any questions for me, enter the questions. And if I make some suggestions of things to do, please take something and write this down, because I kind of pride myself on, instead of just being motivational and inspirational and all those things, I want to give you something that you can do so that you can get a result, especially in these times right now. Because as you know, right now, obviously, this too is going to pass. These are crazy times. And wherever you are in the world, it has affected everybody. The world is different now, and it's going to be different coming up. And the trick to it is to recognize that where you are right now is not where you're going to be a year from now. A year from now, you're going to look back, and we're all going to look back, and we're going to ask one of two questions. We're going to go, what did I do during those times that allowed me to prosper and allowed me to help other people and ethically capitalize on this time? So now I'm a badass. Or you're going to ask yourself, what should I have done that would have gotten me ahead? And I encourage you to be able to ask the first question. And in order to do that, it is to have a game plan of what to do while we're here right now. And so, Tony, just let me know, because I know you have some questions already. But I'll just yak, and I'll set it up like this. We'll talk about this now, and I know, Tony, you had some other questions, but I really want to kind of dig deep into what you're doing right now. How are you doing? What are you doing right now? And there's a couple things. Let me just share these things with them real quick, if you would, Tony, and we'll come back on these as we go. And they are, number one, words matter. They really do. And as you know, as Tony said, my profession, I'm a psychologist, a neuropsychologist to be exact. And And so I have methodology of getting inside people's psychologies in a very specific way and helping people make changes. And so things I'm just going to say straight up front is you've got to guard the gates of what's going into your mind, because your brain cannot resist repetition. Just can't. That's we learn, that's what we are. And so what has been happening is obviously we've been getting a lot of repetition of all of the bad news and all the stuff that's going on. And I'm not saying ignore that stuff by any stretch of the imagination. I want you to pay attention to it, but pay just a little bit of attention to it. What that means is that the news runs in cycles. It's 15-minute to 20-minute cycles. You watch 20 minutes of it, you're going to see everything that you need to see all day long. So shut that crap and put yourself somewhere else. Words matter more than just, a personal development saying. Words have the ability to change your chemical makeup. And right now, the words that we've been using or that have been fed to us over about this pandemic and this crisis and all this stuff going, those words mean something, and they cause your brain to release chemicals that cause you not to have energy and cause you not to feel good. So let's change them. I'm just going to give you a suggestion. Please write this down. If you have different words for what we're going through right now, then you'll feel better, you'll approach it differently, and so will people around you. So here's the words that I've been using. What's happening right now is write this down, pause in our momentum. That's it. That's what this is. It's a pause in our momentum. Things will go on. We had whatever momentum you had going, whatever direction you had, will continue, and it'll go either markedly faster or slower, depending on what you do right now. So let's just start calling it what it really is. It's just a pause. This is just something that has caused us to really step back, and it's our opportunity to make some changes. And then the other thing is another set of words I want you to write down, and that is instead of calling it social distancing and all that stuff, let's call it fear distancing. And what that means is let's separate ourselves from the fear, because as I said, the input, whatever is repeated over and over, is going to become a belief system, whether you know it or whether you like it or not, it's going to be. So if we just believe that, what we're doing is we're going to distance ourselves from all that crap. And yes, Tony said before, one of the things that we enjoy, we laugh a lot together and everything, is that over the last several days, Tony, I've probably sent you 10 or 15 memes and silly things. And my reason is, you guys know me, I'm about laughter, because laughter is the best medicine, and we need that now. And so that is my foot forward to help people look at the lighter side, the brighter side of things, and get a little chuckle in. So while you do that, you're building your immune system. The other thing is, the reason we want to distance ourselves from all that crap is that all of the physicians, all of the doctors, every single one of them agree that the best defense that you have against this that's going on is to have a healthy immune system. Your immune system is strong. That is why younger people and people that are more healthy tend to just have some symptoms, but it passes by them, even though they have the virus going on. And so the quickest way that you can do it, I'll talk about that here in a little bit, but the quickest way that you can do this right now is to have the best attitude, to have a great attitude about where you're looking and what you're doing. And so laughter is key. Laughter, 1 minute of frustration and fear and anger denigrates your immune system for 4 hours. 1 minute of laughter improves it for up to 24 hours. So laugh your ass off constantly. Find ways, start looking for it. Instead of watching the most popular shows that are on Netflix right now, which are pandemic and epidemic and crisis and all of those things, don't be in that, be a part of that club. Be in the club that, there's all kinds of comedy, there's all kinds of fun stuff. So that's my, I'll talk about some other things here in a second, but that's my thing. Number 1, change your words. Number 2, change your focus, and let's do some fear distancing. I'm back at you, Tony.
I've been sharing that because I heard you say it. I don't know if we were speaking the other day or whenever it was that we last spoke, or I saw you say that, and I said the same exact thing, that for every minute you lose 4 to 5 hours of it weakens your immune system 4 to 5 hours. So thanks for coming back in and validating that. So write that down, guys. Laughter, they say laughter is the best medicine, and not to take too much time, but for those who don't know you, Joseph, I don't know if you can condense the story at all. Would you be able to share your experience and why, firsthand that laughter is the best medicine? Can you share that?
Real quickly. In 1988, my mother was diagnosed with terminal cancer, and they told us she had 2 months to live. 2 months. And I remember one of my mentors taught us, he said that, listen, when the physician tells a patient that they have, and by the way, this is not a bash on physicians because we love them and they are actually saving our lives. And my life wouldn't be like it is if it weren't for physicians. But he said when a physician tells them that, it plants something in their brain, because remember, words matter. And the 8 to 9 times out of 10, the person that's told that they have X amount of time to live, they die on or close to that date. If they say that you got 90 days, they die in 90 days. And so I remember that. And when the physician tried to tell my mom that, I wouldn't let him tell her that. As a matter of fact, I told him, doctor, listen, I appreciate your diagnosis, but I'm not going to accept your verdict. So don't tell her those words. And long story short, I didn't let him tell her those words. And I'll jump to the end. She lived another 11 and a half years cancer-free. But one of the things that we did in there was, there's a book, there's actually a couple books by Dr. Norman Cousins. And Dr. Norman Cousins, he healed himself and other people from terminal diseases through laughter. And there's a reason why laughter is important. It's because oxygen is your friend. It's the most important thing that we do. And when we laugh, we have to breathe diaphragmically, and we get more oxygen in. So laughter gives you more oxygen, but it also causes your brain to release endorphins and dopamines and all of it, what I call awesome sauce, that fortifies your immune system. Healthy, happy laughter floods your nervous system, floods your immune system with all the good stuff that gives you the strength to stand up for. And so laughter was only one of them. There was obviously, the things we put into our body and all those things where we focused, and the things I'm talking about, the words now, but that was probably the biggest one. And so laughter is the best medicine. It truly is.
And you know what? And I'll venture to say this, even if it didn't work, even if those months that you spent with your mom watching comedy and laughing together didn't work, how great is it to be laughing all the way to the end, for God's sake?
Exactly. Very, very well said.
So important. Laughter is everything. I say it all the time. If you're not having fun, if you're not laughing at some point throughout your day, throughout your week, then you're doing something wrong. A day, who was it that said it? It wasn't me. This isn't my line. A day without laughter is a day wasted.
Yeah, I agree.
It was somebody a long time ago, a lot smarter than me, but yeah. So a day without laughter is a day wasted. So don't waste your days without laughing. Find something to smile about. Find something to laugh about. A couple of people are making comments here. Hold on, I gotta hear. I'm showing my age. Bam. So let's see. We had Marilyn says, "What do I do during those times to prosper and ethically help people?" There's a lot of people doing a lot of different things.
Yeah.
We can get back to that. Anne Marie says, Bella, her 14-year-old firewalker is here too. And we love you, Joseph.
Oh, thank you.
So there's a lot of, hello, Joseph, shake that ass. So, we're going to get a lot of that. And it's awesome.
Somebody made this for me.
Astitude. Nice. I thought you went off screen to shake it a little bit, I guess. So Chuck says, thank you. We need the information. I know. So that's awesome. Joseph, what's the latest kitchen gadgets? I saw a few Instagram stories. Okay, so listen, speaking of gadgets, I'm going to jump in real quick. So Joseph has been talking to me about this chi machine for, I don't know, I heard him talk about it for years, and then I've been hearing him talking about it, and I wound up getting this chi machine, and I will tell you, I now know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
When that machine stops. And you know what? So if you guys, I'll share the link. And by the way, I've got nothing to do with the chi machine. Neither does Joseph. But I'm a fan because you're on the thing for 15 minutes. You can do your meditation, your gratitude, whatever it is. And when that thing stops, it's just like you go from like moving around real quick and then just goes bam. And it's just bliss. And your body just like feels like, if you've ever gone to that Zen state of meditation where you feel one with everything, your body is just one. So
it just vibrates and you get a rush of, it's actually called an oxidizer. A chi machine is the, let's just say the fun name to it. And, but it's an oxidizer, and what happens, and you feel it. It was obviously when Tony first got his, I remember you text me and you said, okay, I got this. How am I supposed to use this? And I said, use it and then hit me back when it shuts off. And he hit me back and he goes, oh my goodness, yes, because it feels good while you're doing it. And as a matter of fact, it accelerates your meditation. Feels good while you're doing it, but as soon as it stops, you feel it. It's a rush going through your body. I've had the same, actually, I just replaced it with the one that you have, but I had the same one for almost 25 years. And it's a real simple machine. So check it out. It's a great asset to have.
Yeah, absolutely. So that's definitely one of the new gadgets, but don't put it on your kitchen counter because you're going to fall off and hurt yourself. But that's definitely a gadget that I recommend for sure. So do you have any gadgets for health and wellness or whatever else you're using?
Well, my kitchen is full of them. I'm a firm believer, I eat very, very healthy, obviously, but I eat very, very quickly. Here's some things you can write them down, go look them up as long as you got the time. There's something called the perfect cooker. I don't care whatever you throw in it, 20 minutes, it's perfect.
Yes.
Yeah, you have one?
I don't, but I've just been seeing them. Emerald Lagasse has one. I'm like,
it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous.
Frozen
dry rice in there and water, and 20 minutes later, it's the most fluffy rice. You throw pasta in there and some pasta sauce. 20 minutes later, it's perfect. It really is. Just one button, you push it, it's done. It's called the perfect cooker. We sound like we're doing infomercials here.
But hold on, but there's so much value. By the way, we're not affiliated with any of these things.
Yeah, I'm not. Just go. You'll get it on Amazon. Go to Amazon.
I want to be in when I find something that I like and I enjoy and I believe in. People think, dude, are you working for Tempur-Pedic mattress now? I don't know if it works for me and I love it. I share it. So Michelle Callow has a great question. Did you let your kid back in the house?
No, no, he's still out there. Matter of fact, I got to go give him.
Why you got to be flaunting your wealth, man? Why you got to be flaunting your wealth?
Here's what I said yesterday. Unfortunately, this has become the United States symbol of 2020. It's crazy. No, we have fun. It's just like we've been having a ball. I made a video of him the other day that literally made me cry. Because I'm always fun and things like that. But we made a video. If you go to my Instagram page, you'll check it out. And he does his version of something that I wrote called Be Magnificent. And he really killed it on that. He's a good kid. Yeah.
Amazing. That was amazing, by the way. And holy cow, you're growing up fast.
Yeah.
So let's see. Meredith says, so much gratitude for both you gentlemen. You are part of my listen to 20 minutes of good stuff per day and not just news. Awesome, Meredith. Love you back. You're awesome.
This is better than that 20 minutes or 15 minutes of all the bad stuff that you're going to get on the news that you're going to hear over and over again. So thank you.
This is one that Jason heard me say yesterday, the day before, so he repeats it back. If you don't laugh together, you're going to cry apart. I actually said that yesterday.
That's great. That's awesome.
And I was talking about relationships because everybody's stuck at home. Not stuck at home. They're safe at home.
Enjoying the pause in our momentum.
This is, you know how much rent you pay for your house? Enjoy the amount of time, rent or mortgage or whatever it is.
I gotta be honest with you, Tony. I have not been home. First off, I've not been on an airplane in 2.5 months, which is rare for me because I can't remember in probably 20 years I've not been home this long. And I'm doing exactly what you said, enjoying the fruits of my labor, enjoying my home, enjoying my family, enjoying the things that are around that I didn't realize after a few days. You start to, everything starts to show up and you get to do all of this stuff. I'm loving it.
Yeah. So you get to enjoy the fruits of your labor instead of just buying this stuff and buying the house and having the house and going and sleeping and leaving again. So, yeah. So that's what I said yesterday about relationships. I tell people all the time, and where I shared, as a matter of fact, Jason, right? I shared that whole minute of laughter. You support your immune system for 24 hours. I was sharing that. In relationships, you've got to laugh. Remember to laugh with your spouse, because if you don't laugh with your spouse, you're going to wind up crying apart. So that's where that came from. So Meredith says you got the Chi machine. How great is that, Meredith? I've been talking about the Chi machine, to be honest with you, with everybody. So let's see. Yeah, I'll post the Chi machine. Let's see what else. Vibrating therapy. So anyway, we'll get back to a couple of comments afterwards. So going on. So what other interesting machines do you have? So you've got that. You've got the instant cooker.
Yeah, I got that. And there's something that I'll share with people. And again, I'm not affiliated with it really, but I'll put you in touch with somebody that'll set you up on this. And this is critical. I'm going to talk about the 3 things, because obviously, actually the 4 things that are critical for what you're doing right now to take care of yourself. Because you know that old saying, it's like when you get on Southwest Airlines or any airline, they always tell you, put your mask on first. You know, if anything happens, because you got to take care of yourself if you're going to help everybody else, and if you're going to help your life outside there. So there's 4 things that I want you to be really, really, really cognizant of and pay attention to, and do these things. Because remember, the whole thing is whatever we're doing right now, as long as we got this time right now, let's capitalize on it right now. So that when this is over, and even when we're coming out of it, you know, Warren Buffett has said thousands of times that more millionaires are made in a down economy and when things are down than in the whole history of in all of human history. But what he didn't say, if it's in that statement there, is they make it as they're coming out of it. It doesn't mean while they were in it, they made all these investments while they're in it. Yes, there are some, but as they're coming out of it. And so my saying is, it's not how many times you get knocked down or how many times you get up that's going to determine your trajectory and how far you're going to go. It's what you do while you're down that is going to determine whether you even get up or not. And this is critical, so that you recognize that, listen, when we got knocked down. It's where we are right now, but this is just a pause and where we are. So what we do right now is look around, figure out what knocked us down, everything around, and then figure out what you're going to do right now. And I'm going to share with you a couple things to do. And then when you do get up, then you get to have hindsight so you can duck next time it comes around. So here's the deal. So there's 4 things that I want you to be conscious and cognizant of, that you do something about these things every single day. The first one is to move your body. This is critical, because, you know, I get a lot of people that are calling and saying, I'm just exhausted. I'm just so tired. I'm so bored of being around here and doing this and everything. Listen, our ancestors, my father was called to war and went and fought for his country. You know, the greatest generation, World War I, they had to get up and face all this stuff. We're being asked to stay home. You know, that's what we're being asked to do. When those downtimes happened, those people had to get up. And so to do what you're being asked to do, get over it. So if you're getting tired, if you're getting bored, move your body. Go for a walk. You can go outside. If you can't, jump up and down on your little rebounder if you got it, or bounce up and down in your chair. Do something. Laugh. Do something so you move your body. Because here's the reason why. It's not just so that we get exercise. Your body runs on electricity. Period. Bottom line. Those of you that went to UPW in Miami, you remember Dr. Tennant? I actually went to his course and took it. It's phenomenal. But one of the things that he talks about, which is just, it's common sense. I mean, it's a no-brainer. You figure out that our bodies run on electricity. There's a certain amount of current. I'm not going to go into all that stuff that flows through you. But you got to ask yourself, where does that electricity come from? Where does it come from? And the answer is, it comes from your muscles, the movement of your muscles. It's like the alternator in your car. The alternator turns and is constantly moving, and it's pumping out electricity. Your muscles are what we call piezoelectric cells. And they generate electricity, but they also store electricity. Yes, and when I talk about eating and things like that, that does make a difference. But the thing that you need to do the most now, at least 20 minutes of your day, is to get some sort of aerobic movement in. I don't care whether you're doing jumping jacks or yoga or whatever, get movement in, because that's going to generate electricity and that's going to store electricity so that you have that to do the other things that you do. So number 1 is to move your body. Number 2 is to drink water. You know, I'm doing at least 2 of these a day. And as you can see, I'm not that big a guy. You know, that means that I'm peeing all the time, but it's healthy. You got to be doing that, and drink the right kind of water. And by the way, if you don't have a water filter or a water ionizer, you got to look into it. We'll put up, as a matter of fact, you can DM me. And I'll put you in touch with somebody that'll set you up with the right kind of water, the right kind of water filter, and that kind of thing. And it is the key because water, again, it conducts electricity. It gets the toxins out of your body. It keeps you healthy, because the name of your game is that you got to have the energy to do the things that you want. Everybody's talking about, how am I going to capitalize? How am I going to build my business? How am I going to do that? You got to build yourself first so that you can have the energy. Ideas are going to come. You're going to step up. You're going to do things if you have the energy. So DM me at
IG. I am Joseph McClendon. Not .com. Sorry. No, I am Joseph McClendon. Sorry.
Yeah, there it is. DM me there, and I'll put you in touch with somebody, that'll help you find all that stuff. You can do the research, you can find out, but get that. It is critically important. Out of all the machines that I have, including the Chi machine, that is the thing that I would recommend the most. You're wasting money, and you're drinking poison as far as I'm concerned if you're not doing that. I'm just really strong on that. And the next thing is obviously eat the right foods. Eat healthy amounts and eat the right foods. Fruits and vegetables, I'm not going to go into it, And now's the time to do it. Feed your body. This is going to take care of you. And then lastly, silence. Silence. And here's the reason why. Take some time. You don't have to call it meditating. You just call it silence. Take some time to sit down. But here's the reason why. And remember, everything that I do is for a reason and a purpose. Because if you sit quiet for a moment, most of the time, most of us are not too far away from this thing or computers or music or television or something like that. Shut that stuff down. Take it and go for like 15 minutes by yourself. Because here's what's going to happen: is you are going to your brain is going to start to go, wait a minute, there's a voice talking to me. And you're going to recognize who that voice is, and you're going to recognize whether it is denigrating or whether it is empowering. If it is not empowering, then change it. Do your incantations, whatever it is. I say to myself over and over again, my incantations are I'm healthy, happy, wealthy, kind, and everything I need is within my life. Everything, whatever. I say things over and over again, and guess what? I believe that stuff. My nervous system does it as well. You do the same thing. Last thing is to get and be a mentor. Get and be a mentor. And when I say get a mentor, you're doing it right now with us. And so somebody said, I do 20 minutes of that. That's great. There's all kinds of courses out there. There's all kinds of things. Be mentored by somebody in this time. You can get mentors in business. You can get general, I do general life mentoring, if you will, kind of like what we're talking about here. Mm-hmm. And spend the money and do it. Get a course, do whatever. Some of this stuff is dirt cheap, and some of it, but you'll never spend better money than doing that. Get and be a mentor. And what that means is this: you get information, and just like you're learning from us right now, you be the mentor to somebody else.
Yes.
You get on the phone, you talk to somebody else. You say, here's what I learned from Tony today. Here's what I learned from Joseph today. Or claim it for yourself. I don't care. You be the mentor, because it does something. It creates what's called a cybernetic loop. It means you're giving and you're receiving. You're giving and receiving, and your life will enhance as a result of it. Get a coaching program. Well, as a matter of fact, if you go to josephmcclendon.com, I have a program for $1. Yeah. For $1. Set it up that way that you can get it. I call it Beyond Mentoring. And it's something that I always give you something to do. Go check it out, get yourself on it, or do somebody else's. Do whatever comes up. Take this time. There's 24 hours. Here's what people are saying to me. It's just like, gosh, time's moving so slow. It's moving so slow because you're not feeding yourself. You're not having a good time.
It's going fast.
Yeah, it's going, for me, it's just like I look and I wake up and I got, it's 5 o'clock already,
Busier than ever, and I'll say that Meredith, who says she spends 20 minutes a day watching you and me, but separately, right? Unless she's watching now. She's actually in my mastermind program. I've got a mastermind program with Chuck and Darren, and she's in my mastermind program. It's YBL Mentors and Mastermind. So anybody that's interested can certainly private message me as well, and I'll give you information on that. So, but while we're here, while I got the mic, Vinu says, which a mutual friend of ours, right? Another Tony Robbins trainer. Joseph, 4 things you taught us at Trainer Academy has literally changed my mindset of myself and coaching: discipline, focus, work ethic, and conditioning. And most significant is pull. What's the pull you are creating? This will help you right now with what we are going through. Absolutely. Vinu, thank you. Thank you for bringing that up. So true, right? What's the pull?
Well, the answer to the question is the pull is, see, a lot of people say we want to be motivated. We want to be, and they have, to me, the word motivation is, it's underexplained, if you will, because motivated, most of us feel like we need to be pushed, or we feel like we want to be driven from the inside. And that's great. But would you rather be dragged kicking and screaming from your past, or pulled gently into your future? Beautiful. Obviously, you want to be pulled, because the pull is the carrot on the stick. That's how you motivate yourself. whatever's coming up, and you have something, that compelling future, the thing that you're looking for, that's what makes you get up in the morning. That's what makes you keep on doing. We all have a pull called we want to stay alive. We all have a pull called, we want to, be loved. We have this pull. So as long as, if you make it conscious, if you sit down every day and you go, what am I excited about? What am I excited about when this whole thing is over? What am I going to buy? What am I going to do? Where am I going to go? Who am I going to love? All those things. And you keep that conscious. That's what pulls you forward. And it becomes an unconscious thing with you. And that makes it so that you don't have to force yourself or condition yourself and all those things so radically to not procrastinate and things like that. Set up the pull, look at it every day, and your nervous system will start to do the work for you.
Absolutely. Imagine, again, if you're just pushing, or you get tired of pushing, it's nice to, sometimes you just, it's almost like that chi machine. You're vibrating and it feels like you're kind of just rocking. All of a sudden it just feels good because now it's like you're just relaxing. So instead of just pushing all the time, just create the pull so you can be pulled into your future. Freaking love that. Love that. There's a couple of great comments that are coming in here. It's what you do when you're down that determines whether you get up or not. Yeah, when you're down, if you fell down, it's probably because you needed to see something. And it's getting up that we grow. Rather that we learn, it's in getting up that we grow. When we fall, we learn, we get up, we grow. So, and that's part of it. That's part of all of it. So we got, move your body every single day. Motion creates emotion. I mean, listen, there's a lot of brilliant people here watching us, but I saw one here that was really good. I'm looking for it now. Yeah, this one, Alessandra, thank you for that. Truly the greatest generation for sure. We are spoiled. So would you rather be dragged kicking and screaming from your past or pulled gently towards your future? Yeah, that was a great line. So, fantastic. So I'm sorry, I interrupted your stream, or I think you were at the end of that thought, which is why I jumped in.
No. We're all good. I want people to get those things. Move your body, drink water, eat the right foods, be silent, and do something about it. If you're not those things, if you're any of those things you're not doing, then you can change it and you can do them. So it's time to step up. Now is that time, and again, allow yourself, give yourself the gift of looking where you want to go. Give yourself the gift of recognizing all that you have to be grateful for. There's all kinds of conspiracy theories. There's all kinds of stuff that's going on, and you'll drive yourself nuts listening to all that stuff. I'm not saying none of it's true. I'm just saying that, take in a little bit of it and then move on.
Yeah, get your dose and move on. Absolutely. Listen, the one thing that everybody's been talking about, there's so much great stuff out there right now. Like Joseph has his mentorship program for $1. You've got this here every day for an hour or more. You've got so many people, Allison Armstrong has got putting her program out. Abraham Hicks is putting the program out for.
I love Abraham.
She's awesome. I think Harvard has one of their most popular programs that you can take online for free. There's so much content right now that you can feed your mind instead of just sitting in front of the boob tube. Don't get me wrong. I enjoy watching a TV show. I watch a little bit in the morning as well. But use this time to learn. Like I said, I've been meaning to get back to a couple of programs I haven't finished, not TV programs, but video programs and learning programs and I haven't been able to get to them just because I've been busy with creating this show and being on other shows and watching and learning from other people. So use this time wisely, guys. Joseph, if you can tell me what's luck?
Luck, that's a great question. I'm trying to think of the old saying is luck is when opportunity meets preparation. Yeah. Okay. And that's true, all that stuff. So I never like to throw shade on anybody saying luck to me is created. Luck is when you align what you want with how you feel so that you put that energy out there so that you become a magnet. You know how I roll with this. So that you flow towards it. That's your pull. But the great part about it is so that it flows towards you as well. Every single one of us have had situations where we thought of something, we wanted something, and it showed up in our lives. And if you go and you take a look at what happened before that showed up, I promise you, you had a higher level of focus and concentration and emotion about that. So, which means what you wanted was in line with your feelings, your emotion. That's called integrity. When those two things line up, you become unstoppable. But here's the challenge with most people is that they have incongruency with that stuff. There's not integrity. They want something, but something inside says, I don't deserve it. Or, I'm not smart enough, or I'm that. Then there's incongruency and it stops that flow. And so, you were at the Magnetic Success. My whole thing is, let's break that stuff down. Let's break down any inhibitions that you have about yourself, any of that stuff that goes on, so that you can get in line with the things that you want. You said something just a little while ago, and it was. I embarrassingly say this, that I have, because I've been traveling so much for the last several years, I have purchased so many things from Amazon that I don't even remember. There'll be times I'll come home from a trip and my front porch is full of packages, and it's like drunk texting for me. I'll get on Amazon because I'm sitting in a hotel somewhere, and I'll go, ooh, that, and I'll buy this stuff. And so here in my home, because I haven't left, I will go. I'm just going around my house and I'm finding all these things. I found something. I found this. If you guys don't have one of these, and again, I don't have anything to do with this stuff, but this is great. It's one of those things that you put it on your back, you put it on here and you put it on your back, and it pulls your shoulders back. And it's amazing. I bought it like 2 years ago and I never used it. And so my point is this: look around, look at the abundance that you have. Look at all the things that you've created in your life. And most people are going to say, well, I don't have all that stuff. I don't have that stuff and everything. Yes, you do. That you are an amazing person. I have this saying that I say all the time, and that is, dare to make your life magnificent. I should say, dare to make your life even more magnificent than it already is. And the video that my son made, that was part of that speech there, was that magnificence means magnifying who you already are. And you already are magnificent. Everything around you, you've created. Everything that you've done, everything that you have, the car that you drive, the clothes that you wear, you brought that stuff into your life some way. And you can continue to do that and enhance that process. I call it magnetism. Oh, don't get me started.
Well, listen, this is why I threw you that magnet, because I love it. I love your definition of that. I love how you express it. But I will say there's probably one thing that I would maybe tweak. Dana jumped in and said, I think Tony's in alignment with having Tony Robbins on Tony Talks. What do you think, Joseph? That'd be good. That'd be cool. That'd be cool if I get the big Tony on, right? At some point, working my way up. I'm working my way up. So one of the things that I would just say that is, and it's so important, this is where the preparation does come into play, because you can ask for what is it you want, but when you get it, you got to know what to do with it. Yeah. So make sure that you're preparing yourself, because life is usually preparing you for what you ask for. So when it shows up, just make sure you're ready. Right? Make sure you're ready. Take this time to prepare, because there is something to that old adage of preparation meets opportunity, right?
Absolutely.
Because you can attract it into your life, but now you don't know what to do with it. Yeah. And then
you don't even recognize that it's there. It's like, right. Exactly. We already have the things that we asked for in the past. Recognize it, appreciate it, be grateful for it, and move on to other stuff as well. You got the power. You were already magnificent. Yeah, that's it. It's we're all so much luckier than we think we are. It's just when we stop and recognize, and that's why a gratitude practice is so important. That gratitude in the morning, that gratitude at night, especially. And gratitude during the day when you're stressed out and freaking out. How can you get yourself out of that state? Ooh, I think this call. There's an octagon that you like to talk about. Wait, it's not octagon. It's a hexagon. That technique. God, let me get with my kids. Give me a geometry lesson. Woo! So one of the things that I like to share that I learned from you as well is when you're running some of those negative patterns. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Right. But I'll let you. I'll let you. Tony's talking about something that I created called the STOP technique, and it's a process to be able to arrest your negative emotions and thoughts that back them up, and replace them with something that is more beneficial, something that's empowering. Yeah, and that's in line with gratitude, right? So that's why I'm pulling this in at this time. Yeah, it is, and And it's a process, because remember this, if nothing is done about it, you're just going to continue to run the same patterns that you have, all of us. And again, I'm just assuming this, that if you're on this call, you probably already are on the, let's just say, in this community and on the path of personal development. You probably already recognize that, you can make some changes in your life and get a better life for yourself and the people that you love. And I'll share with you a process, if you will, a syntax, if you will, that's going to help you arrest your negative emotions and thoughts that are around them. And it'll even help with bad habits. Now, obviously, in the workshop that Tony's talking about, we actually do it there, and it's actually more intricate in the thing. But I want to just explain something to you so that you can start doing something as well. First off, fear, stress, frustration, all that stuff, they're just emotions. And emotions are just that your brain is focused on something, meaning you're looking at something, making pictures in your mind of whatever that is that is upsetting you, or it's real, and your words are going like this, or saying, or describing it, and then your brain releases chemicals that make you feel bad. And that's it. It's think, feel, do, okay? So if you have a habit of being frustrated, being whatever, or if you have a bad memory of something, or let's just say you're doing something and you're just not feeling well. You're not feeling good about it, but you keep doing it over and over again. Remember this, and everybody write this down. Right? This is silly. I want you to get this. Your pattern interrupt is your lightsaber. It's your lightsaber. And if you remember from Star Wars, the lightsaber was the badass sword that would cut through anything, just anything, whatever. And so what you want to do is you want to cut through the negative emotion. And so when I say a pattern interrupt, I'll explain it like this. You're sitting in your house and you're thinking, I got to go into the garage and get a screwdriver. And you stand up and you walk into the garage and you're standing in the garage going, the hell did I come in here for? Okay. And in that moment, this is golden. And I want you to get this. This is golden because this is going to help change. I'm looking at some of the comments that are coming in. This is awesome. This is going to help change. Is that what people try and do is they try to make a change. They try, change a habit or something like that, but they don't do anything about the existing emotion. They don't do anything about the existing pattern. You got to shatter that existing pattern. So you interrupt your pattern. When you're thinking about getting the screwdriver, you're in a pattern. You're in a pattern of thought, your physical body and all those things, your physiology and all that stuff. But as soon as you stand up and move, you interrupt that pattern, and three things happen. One, you're no longer in that pattern. Number two, you're no longer focused on that. And number three, it creates a blank spot in your mind. So those three things happen automatically, no matter what, because we've all had that experience. And so the greatest part about it is that blank spot is like a vacuum, and it's waiting for something to fill it up. And so it's as simple as this. Everybody, please write this down. Here's the formula. Feel bad. Number two, interrupt your pattern. Number three, feel good. And then number four, celebrate. And if you just do these 4 steps with anything, and that means purposely think about the things that cause you to feel bad. And as soon as you're in it, stand up, shake yourself out. Now, fortunately, I have pants on today. I have not had a proper pair of pants on in almost a month now. Proper means a pants with zippers and loops and things like that. And so as soon as you stand up, you interrupt your pattern. Your brain is going, what? And in that moment, just go, yes, and pat yourself on the back. If you just do that over and over again, make yourself feel bad, snap yourself out of it, pat yourself on the back, make yourself feel bad, snap yourself out of it. The thing you won't be able to make yourself feel bad. And it'll be geometric and it'll be global, meaning it'll affect other things as well. This one little thing that you teach people, Tony, you know this from the workshop because we do it right then and there, and it's pretty intense. You can't feel it. You can't feel it anymore. People always ask, and it's some pretty hard times over the last year and a half, a lot of things, and even just in the last month or so, a lot of things have happened in my life. And people always ask me, well, how do you bounce back? How do you feel bad? I'm human, and I still go through it. But how I do is there's no fear. There's no fearless people. Matter of fact, write this down. It's going to be brilliant. There are no fearless people. Everybody has fear. Fear is there for a reason. It's there to protect you. It's there to warn you, but it's not there to be your jailer. There are no fearless people, but there are people who have less fear. And I don't mean less in quantity, things that they're afraid of. I mean they spend less time in that emotion. So something shows up and they have a mechanism that takes the fear away right away. And that's what this will do for you as well. If you condition yourself to do that, you do something over and over again, your brain can't resist repetition, then pretty soon you will spend less time being fearful. That's it.
That's it. That's the stop technique. I love it. I love it. I love it. So write this down, everybody. Feel bad. So if you're feeling bad, you catch yourself and you reward yourself. So yes, and then you do something to make you feel good. So you reward yourself and then you shake that ass and celebrate. Come on, we're waiting on that.
Yeah. It's important you get the sequence. Feel bad on purpose. Don't wait till you feel bad. Cause yourself to feel bad. And as soon as you do, stand up and shake yourself out. That interrupts the pattern. That creates the scotoma. That creates the blank spot. Then smile, because as soon as you smile, your brain releases endorphins, dopamines, makes you feel good. That goes into that space, and then celebrate. And so your nervous system says, wow, that felt good. The next time I'll do it even faster, faster, faster. Then pretty soon, the very thing that makes you feel bad is the thing that's going to make you feel good. You're going to find that if you do this intensely, then you'll find that you can't feel that way.
That's it.
So the reason we do it in our seminars is because I get to control it right there. And we do it over and over again. And it's amazing because people go, I can't feel that in that moment. And then they have the technique.
Yeah. Well, so the tip here is do this when you're not feeling bad, so that when you're feeling bad, it's already becomes an automatic.
Correct.
It becomes an automatic. So I love that. So our buddy Steve Linder chimes in here.
Steve. What's up, Steve?
So
Steve, you need to know this. It's I don't know what you want to call it. It's serendipity. I had a water leak in my house as well. We need to talk. It wreaked havoc, man. It was crazy.
Yeah, well, he's still dealing with that one too. And I know you're just wrapping up from that yourself.
Yeah, it's crazy. We finally got all the work done. Yeah.
So nuts. He's still working on it. So he says, I remember Joseph McClendon telling the story about how he kept his school on a plane when there was an emergency. I remember all of the time when I see people having challenges. Can you share that one with us? Because
it's a long story, but I'll give you the Cliff Notes version. This was right after 9/11 and all the security and everything. But I got on an airplane, a propeller-driven airplane, to fly up to Los Angeles. I was living in San Diego to go to Singapore. When I got on the plane, I went to sleep as I always do, and I woke up to a loud bang, and I looked out the window, and the engine was on fire, and the propeller came to a stop. And so everybody was freaking out, everybody. Now, because I was asleep, it was new to me. You know, everybody else was awake and they saw this happen. So it was new to me, but in the moment while it was happening, and all of this that I'm about to say happened in a matter of 30 seconds, you know, maybe a minute's time. But everybody's freaking out and screaming and yelling. And in my brain, don't get me wrong, I was scared. It really got me scared. But I immediately felt myself calm down. And that was a result of doing these things that I do, because I've done it so much. My nervous system says, when something happens, calm down, you know, get the fear out. Fear is not going to assist you. Fear is just there to alert you. Okay. So once you're alert, what are you going to do about it? And my brain started to do that. And so in that moment, everybody's freaking out and yelling and screaming and everything. And I didn't think to do this, Tony. It just came out of me. I literally yelled out loud. I said, hey, knock it off. Everybody calm down. Everything's going to be okay. And everybody shut up. Everybody shut up. And it was interesting. For the first time in my life, as far back as I can remember, I did what you never have done either. And that is, I reached into the seat back pocket in front of me and took out the instructions and read them, you know, about where everything was. And so obviously, you know, the plane landed safely, everything, I lived and everything. But here's the interesting thing. When I got off, when everybody was deplaning, the pilot's door was open and people were walking by. Nobody said anything to the pilots, but everybody that walked by me said thank you to me, as though I flew the freaking plane. My whole point is I have an automatic mechanism that when something happens, I very quickly default to a better state, if you will. And it's a result of some of the things that I teach.
No, I love that, you know, and that just goes to show, you know, that the other old adage, he with the most certainty wins, right? So you were the most certain, so everybody looked to you because they're like, okay, this guy's got to know something that we don't. All right, so take control. That's when a leader steps up. Listen, and it's also a perfect analogy to what's happening now. There's so many people freaking out. Be the leader. Be the leaders. Be the voice of reason. If everybody's losing their shit, step in and say, "Stop, everybody! It's important. It's serious." But everybody just calm down a little bit, because there's no point in setting the place on fire. Just understand what's happening. See things. We've heard this about 1 billion times. See things as they are, not better than they are, not worse than they are, but see things as they are, right? And sometimes we've got to take control of whether we're in a group of our friends, our family. Maybe sometimes it's just on a call like this. I was sharing yesterday that I was out, doing some shopping the other day, and there's people like kind of freaking out all over the place. I'm like, okay, everybody just kind of calm down a little bit. But just take control of yourself and of the situation. So anyway,
train yourself to automatically take control.
Absolutely, automatically take control. Just to step into it. So yeah, Dana just put in her. So you remember Dana from the event? Dana,
yes, hi Dana.
Four-wheeling. Let's see. But there are people who fear less. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I said it the other day. You don't have to be fearless. You just have to fear less.
Yeah.
Right. You just have to.
And it's a skill that you can learn.
Yeah. And get an attitude, says Gigi. I love it. She also says this. You can read that one.
Get up and shake that ass. Of course. That's your pattern interrupt. I built it into it.
That's it. I mean, it's important. It is, again, it's that lightsaber. It's being able to interrupt yourself so that you can stop and really see what. Yeah. So perfect. So listen, I'm going to take this moment right now. Just ask everybody, please share this video. If this video is resonating with you, if you're getting value, please share it. Not only is it streaming, by the way, on Facebook, it's also streaming on YouTube. So you can go to just what you see here, hashtag what you see after my name, hashtag GetUpNGrow. You'll be able to find it, and you can share it. If somebody doesn't have Facebook, you can certainly share the YouTube page. And I just started it, so I'd love everyone to go on there and hit that up as well. I have other videos as well. Steve Linder's video is actually going to be posted tonight. Master Co is on there, and so many other. What's that?
Steve and Master Co, they're my heroes.
Yeah, and mine, and so are you. That's why you're here too. I'm assembling my heroes in a bit of what almost like the Avengers. Yeah, I'm putting my own team together here. So awesome. So let's see, what else did we say we wanted to talk about? Hold on, I want to try to deliver what we spoke about. So let's just see what else did I say here. Hold on. So I think we've covered a good amount of topics. Let's see, while I look here, what else do you want to talk about here? Let's see. Transformation. Did we talk about transformation yet?
We can talk about anything you want. What do I have to do?
I love it. So listen, I hate to tell you, we are almost at the hour, but if you're willing to go a little longer.
I got another 15 minutes before I got to get ready for another call.
Fantastic. So we talked about the power of laughter and some proven strategies for overall health and vitality, which again goes to laughter and goes to a lot of the things that you were talking about. So I'd love to talk a little bit about transformation and how you describe transformation. You have a great process for that as well.
Well, yeah, I do. And first off, I have something that I call LCD, lowest common denominator. And that is, if you can't explain it to a third grader and that third grader understands, then you probably don't understand it enough yourself, and you probably aren't doing it yourself. So transformation means it's like water transforms into steam, but it's still water. Now, can it transform back? The answer is yes. But as long as you keep it hot, it's going to move on to something else. So transformation is taking what you've already got and enhancing it, right? Same thing as being magnificent. In other words, transforming into something what you want. And there's steps that you got to go. You go, what do I want first? What do I want? Who do I want to become? And matter of fact, if you would, here, let's do this. This is not an IQ test. Mm-hmm. This is not, there's no wrong answers in this. If you would, please tell me what you believe personal development is? Everybody, please comment. Put your comments in. Again, there's no right, there's no wrong. There's no good, there's no bad. This is not an IQ test. I'm just curious as what you believe personal development is. Right? And I if you can show them up here so I can see them when they show it, when they put it up there. Okay. And while you're doing that, I can't hear you.
There's a 20 or 30 second delay. So
okay. And so while you're doing that, I'll tell you a real quick story, true story. I knew Jim Rohn before he passed. I mean, I knew him for quite some time. And several years ago, probably 10 years ago, I asked Jim, in case you don't know who Jim Rohn was, he was the guy that he actually taught Tony. Tony worked for him years ago, and he is the father of personal development, they say. Great, great man. If you haven't had the chance to experience him, you know, he still has stuff on YouTube, and he's got tapes and things like that you can listen to. And so Jim, I said, Jim, what is personal development? And Jim Rohn, I'm exaggerating, but Jim Rohn went like this. Well, Joseph, personal development is, and then he said something, I don't even remember what he said. But here's the point. Jim Rohn, the father of personal development, guessed at it. He guessed at it. He had to search it, and he guessed at it. Okay, so here he is. It says personal development to me is growth and transformation in positive directions. Perfect. Love that. Okay. Thank you.
On a bigger screen so you can read them right off the screen.
Okay. It says, Anne-Marie, learning consistently. Great. These are all great answers. Being the best you believe you can be. Yes. Okay. Growing from experience. Yes. Perfect. Advanced in your personal growth from worm to butterfly. Love that. And she put a little butterfly there. That's awesome.
Cheryl or Hilmad is awesome.
Yeah. And becoming the best version of yourself you can be. Perfect. Okay. Growing your soul live to live your greatest talents and continue and contribute to humanity. Great. Okay, these are all great. All right. These are all awesome. Stick with them. I'm throwing no shade at them at all. I just want to add something to it. Okay. Because personal development to me is a verb. It to me means doing something because words alone don't change anything. Knowledge alone does not change anything. What changes stuff, and you guys know this stuff, is activity, not action. Activity. You know, dispel that notion of taking action, and action is power. No, it's not. It's just potential power, and knowledge is just stored information. What power is doing something. So to me, personal development is, and I want you to write this down, rehearsing whom you wish to become. Rehearsing whom you wish to become. What does that mean? That means 5 years from now, a year from now, 6 years, 10 years from now, you're going to be a different person than you are right now. And that person, if you have developed, if you have grown during that time and improved yourself, that person is going to be healthier, happier, wealthier. They're going to be a different person than you are right now. You're going to wear different clothes. You're going to talk differently. You're going to use different words. You're going to have different actions. You're going to have different beliefs. You're going to do a lot of things different. It doesn't mean that you're not going to take a lot of the good stuff that you have right now with you. You're going to have that, but you're going to be different. So the trick to life in terms of personal growth is to figure out whom you wish to become. I said a little while ago, number one thing is always, what do you want? In any kind of therapy or process that I do, it's always number one, what do you want? Know your outcome, know your goal, know where you're going to go. So find somebody that's demonstrating the characteristics, the lifestyle, the body, everything that you want. And it can be a few people. So find those people and you want to model them and start rehearsing that now. Rehearsal means repetition with reward and joy. It's not just repeating stuff over again. And start talking that way, moving that way. I just gave you 4 things to do. Move your body. Drink water, the right kind of water. Eat the right kinds of food. Get some silence for yourself. Start doing those things. That's the rehearsal, because rehearsal, wait for it, rehearsal develops you into what you're going after. So the person that you are right now that is rehearsing is in the process of developing yourself. That is personal development. And to me, that is synonymous with transformation. Because in order for you, transformation to me is a verb as well. Because in order for you to become something that you want, in order for that worm to become a butterfly, it has to take action. It has to, people always look at, okay, it goes into a cocoon. Well, listen, it ate like a pig its entire life. And then it took action of building that cocoon around it. And then it had a pause in its momentum, but it didn't stop. It grew while it was in that cocoon, and then it busted out and it became a butterfly. Now, that's a silly metaphor, but that's the way that it is. That animal, that insect, was rehearsing. It knew instinctively what it was going to become. It knew it was going to be a butterfly, just like you know what you want. So transformation to me is the rehearsal of whom you wish to become. Figure out what it is that you want, find those models, find those things, and it's just like I said before, mentor and be mentored, and allow yourself to do that right now while you're doing this. This is your cocoon moment. I'm out.
I will say this. You know what else that little caterpillar had to do? He had to let go of who he used to be.
Exactly. Mm-hmm.
I say it all the time. The future you, who you want to become, everything comes at a price. In life, everything has a price. And it's not necessarily a financial price, but the future you is going to cost you the you of today. It's going to cost you your old bullshit story. So that caterpillar had to let go of his life, had to let go of his old life in order to become that new version. And there's sacrifices that need to happen. So it's a great story. And I, like I said, wanted to add that little tidbit in, just to remind everybody that sometimes you've just got to let go of who you used to be, of who your story was. Do you have anything else that you want to add to wrap it up? Because again, I want to be respectful of your time, because I'd love you to come back on. By the way, I will say that Jason Cisneros did say, the last time he was on, he's like, this is 3 for me. This is 3 for me. But now we can say that you're on for 3 as well. So the continues.
Yeah. Well, I would like to say this kind of in closing, I guess. And that is a couple of things. I want to remind everybody. Now, this is going to sound a little preachy, but bear with me because it's just the absolute truth. I want to remind everybody. Well, let me back up for a second. One of the things that I'm doing, I always like to practice what I preach. I try to do it as much as possible. I call it don't teach theory. Don't tell somebody to do something if you're not doing it yourself. And so I'm taking this time to do some pretty bold things while I'm here. My friend and one of my mentors, Les Brown, called me a couple days ago, and I'm not going to say convinced me, but encouraged me to write another book. Now, I wasn't excited about writing another book. I've written 6 books. I'm not crazy about writing, but he encouraged me to write this book. And the book is called Dare to be Magnificent. It's my tagline. I always say it, Dare to be Magnificent. And it really is the lessons that I learned from the greatest man I ever knew, and that's my father. And at the risk of sounding arrogant, I have the privilege of doing what I do for a couple reasons. Number one, I've worked hard at my craft, if you will, and my craft just happens to be helping people get the best out of themselves. And going along with that, I try my best. I'm not perfect, and I try my best to practice what I preach in those areas of our lives that are important: my physical body, my finances, my beliefs, all of those things, health, wealth, and happiness, and things like that. And so I get questioned a lot, and people ask me a couple things. One of them is, Joseph, what made you the way that you are? Because if you know me, I've had some hardships in my life in the past and things like that. But what is it that made you the way that you are? And there are 5 things. And these are things that I didn't realize until I was talking to Les. He pulled it out of me. And there are these 5 things, and please write this down and stay tuned, because the book is in process now. I will have it done in another week. It's taken me a year to write other books, and I have it done in a week, and I started last week because I practice when I preach. And there's the 5 things. Number 1, integrity. Integrity. And so integrity is, when I said this before, is when your actions are in alignment with your belief and the words that you speak. And if you say that you're going to do something, but something inside says, nah, I don't want to do that kind of thing, then you're not in integrity. If you say that you're going to do something, and even though something inside says, I don't want to do it, but there's something stronger inside that says, let's just do it anyway, then you have integrity. And my father was that kind of guy. My father, I remember one time in his life, when I was really quite young, my father had left. He was in the Air Force, and he left work with, I think, 5 of his buddies. And he went into a restaurant, and the restaurant refused him and his other black friend, refused them service. And the other guys got to stay. Well, actually, they all left. But my father, because that was not in alignment with who he believed he was, stood up and fought it. And because he fought it during those times, that law was changed. And I remember him telling me years ago, he said, you know what, if you don't stand for something, you'll fall for anything. And that's the truth, integrity. So I encourage you to live your life with integrity, and all these tools and things that I always talk about on my coaching and things like that is how to get yourself in alignment with what you are. Even and especially what I just talked about earlier with regard to aligning yourself with what you want and getting rid of that stuff that's inside that says you're not good enough, you're not strong enough, you're not fast enough, you're not whatever. Get that stuff out. That's out of integrity.
Love it.
The second thing is tenacity. Tenacity is that tendency to grab a hold of something and stay with it until you finish it. No matter what. Discipline. Discipline means doing the prescribed activity no matter what, as it is prescribed, even and especially when it's difficult. And so many of us need help in that area. And so many of us, self-included, I haven't always been like this. I learned a lot of that stuff from my dad, but there's times I don't want to do stuff, but something gets triggered inside me to do it anyway. Right now, I don't want to write another book. But listen, I'm over that conversation. I didn't want to, and now I've created pull to make that happen. And then third is energy. We talked about that before. You got to have energy. My dad was one of those guys that he exercised every day because he didn't know everything that I just told you about electricity and all that stuff, but he exercised all the time. Matter of fact, he would make us. He would tell us we had to do 50 push-ups, 50 knee bends, 50 sit-ups, and 50 jumping jacks every day. And if we didn't do them, he put a chart on the board. And if he'd come home late at night and that chart wasn't filled out, we'd do it. He'd wake our asses up and we had to do it.
Nice.
Because he believed in energy. Okay. And energy is what's going to see you through. I told you, at the beginning of this, if you weren't here, go back and listen to it, how important it is. Energy is electricity.
And it's ethic, right? And you got your work ethic from him by doing the same thing.
Yeah, absolutely. And I hated it, by the way, in those times. I thought he was a tyrant. And now every day I thank him for it, And then the next thing is kindness. Kindness. Be kind to people. You're on this planet, as we say, each one, reach one, and teach one. That's why I say to you, be a mentor as well. Be kind to people. Kindness is a virtue. It truly is. And when you have kindness, then life flows differently for you and for other people as well. You might not be, I'm not saying do something kind for people because you're going to get something back. Do something kind because that's the right thing to do. My dad, I remember when we were kids, we were driving home. The whole family was in our station wagon driving home. And there was a man with his family broken down on the side of the road in their car. And my dad stopped, got out, and helped the guy work on his car. And they couldn't get the car fixed then. But my dad took his family home, got his tools, put me back in the car, and we drove back and helped the guy fix his car. And when they got it fixed, the guy offered my dad money. And I remember my dad saying, "No, you don't owe me anything." He said, "You'd do the same for me." He said, "You'd pay it forward. You do it to somebody else." Kindness. And the last thing is joyfulness. Joyfulness. If you know me, it's like Tony and I were talking about from the very beginning. I laugh a lot. I have a good time. I'm joyful. And joyfulness is a skill. If you aren't naturally that way, then look for it. As ye seek, so shall ye find, and ye shall find, and it shall find you as well. Look to be joyful. If you have trouble with it, just stand in front of the mirror and put a smile on your face. There's so much to be joyful about, even in these times right now. There's joy in everything. Look for it and you'll find it. And those 5 things, those are critical in all the things I just told you here. There's something that fits into every single one of those things. And now that we have this time, you are magnificent. You won the race. You're alive right now. You beat 300 million other little sperms in that first race of your life. You won. You're already magnificent. And now it's all about just magnifying that. So lastly, I'll say that life is exactly what you dare to make it. And fortune favors the bold, baby. So the trick to life is to boldly step up and dare to make your life magnificent. Now's your time. You deserve the best. And I'll see you at the top.
Awesome. Awesome. So I'm just going to close this out. Hang on there for a couple of minutes. So everyone follow Joseph at Instagram. I am Joseph McClendon. I am Joseph McClendon, not me. He is. But follow I am Joseph McClendon on Instagram. Me, I am Tony Rodriguez with an S, Tony Rodriguez 2.0, like the new version, Tony Rodriguez 2.0. And certainly on Facebook, you found me here. And please join my YouTube channel at hashtag GetUpNGrow. Thank you very much, everyone, for coming on here. Again, share this far and wide. These are the messages. These are the things that people need to hear today more than ever. The world needs this more than ever. So by all means, share this. Share this with your family. Share this with your friends and everyone that you have an opportunity to. And take this information and share this information yourself. Create your own videos. Come on there and make content. There's somebody out there that needs to hear.
Absolutely. You be the one. Now is your time. You step up. You be the mentor.
That's right. Be the mentor. You learned it here. You go on and pass it on. Pay it forward. So go out and create those videos. And remember, my friends, that life is not about how many times you fall. It's about getting up after every fall. You fall down 7 times, get up 8. And it's in the falling that you learn, in the getting up that you grow. And every time you fall, you have the opportunity to get up and grow. And grow we must, because we're all growing through what we're going through. I appreciate all of you for watching. Joseph, brother, I appreciate you. Thank you so much. And hopefully you'll join us again in a couple of weeks. I love having you every time. I love laughing with you. And we'll keep exchanging those jokes back and forth. And I'll probably throw a couple of the jokes in on these as well, including that you did with your son. Just some really great stuff. And remember, everybody, I guess the one thing that I know that Joseph wants to leave you with as well, aside from those 5 things, and everything that we did today was fabulous, but please, please, please remember to smile. Smile in the mirror, smile at your neighbors, smile through the window, laugh. Remember to laugh, because with your family, remember, you're either laughing together or crying apart. So appreciate all of you. Thank you. And we'll see you tomorrow. By the way, to answer a question that somebody had, tomorrow I have Dan Clark. I don't know. Do you know Dan Clark, Joseph?
Yeah.
You're badass. Oh, you got to watch tomorrow. Matter of fact, you should come on, because he is one of the funniest individuals I know.
Yeah, he's spectacular.
If you have the opportunity tomorrow, jump in. I'll send you the link, and you can kind of just jump in and say,
I don't have time. I'm kidding. I'll do my best.
I appreciate you. So Dan Clark tomorrow, 6 o'clock again. Appreciate all of you guys. Thank you. And I will see you guys tomorrow. And Joseph, hang out there for a sec. See you guys.